YouTube. So, I don't know how you all have been this past week, but it's been cold. Luckily just cold outside. Inside's been just fine. Just got back from giving the chickens some more water because in these cold weathers, it's actually more important for them to have water than it is for them to have food because their bodies are trying to produce that heat. They're trying to stay warm. And so they need that, and they need to stay hydrated, almost more importantly in the winter than they almost do in the summer. So I've been out there getting them some more water. I typically take them water 3 times a day, 2 or 3 times a day, just to make sure that their water isn't frozen, make sure that they've got fresh water available to them. I got our dogs right here under my feet, trying to keep them hydrated also, make sure they got the food and water they need. But like I said, water is almost more important this time of year in the cold than the food. So I've been trying to make sure stay on top of that. I have been super impressed by these chickens. We've got about 21 chickens now, and we are still getting eggs. We don't get as many, definitely, as we would in the summer, but we're still getting eggs. I just picked up about 5 more eggs. That's probably all we'll get today. But from the older chickens, we call them the queens, we get about 4 eggs from them every day. And then the princesses, super exciting news. The princesses have just started laying eggs, which I think is crazy because it's been so cold. We've had pretty much a week now where we haven't been above freezing temperatures all week. And it's during this week that they started laying. And so I just picked up another egg from them. We've gotten 4 eggs from them now. Unfortunately, I wasn't checking their eggs as regularly because I wasn't really expecting them to be laying yet. And so the first one I had to check out because it got cracked from freezing. But yeah, we've gotten 4 eggs from them now. Super impressed by that. So yeah, I'm super impressed just by the animals. Anyway, I would not want to be staying out here full time in this temperature, but they do. And they do a great job. I do my part in keeping them shelter and food and water and everything they need. But yeah, even so, I wouldn't want to be out here where they are. God has definitely gifted them with the ability and what they need in themselves to be able to do that I don't have. So, yeah, just been working on that. Probably going to head out to the barn and gather up all of our seed starting stuff because this next week, even in the midst of all this cold, we need to go ahead and get our seed starts going. And we're probably going to just set them up in the shed. We've got a little heater in there that we've been using, and we've got the grow lights. So yeah, we're going to set that up and get that going probably this next week. So we'll show you that video whenever we get it done. Apart from that, I've got 2 woodworking projects that I've been asked to do recently from my wife. One of them is a little box for something she's doing with the kids. And then another one is just a little shelf to go next to the bed. So I might show you some videos of working on those. But other than that, it's not a whole lot going on this week. I'm walking out here to the barn. I'm just walking by our pond. Our pond is completely frozen over at this point. It's very pretty. I like seeing it all frozen over, all icy. You won't see me getting out there on it though. Not that brave. I can definitely see some thin spots still anyway, so. But no, that's pretty. So one thing that we did make a mistake about is in this cold weather, we've been driving our truck pretty much everywhere, which means we hadn't been running the van as often, and I did not come out and start the van and make sure the battery didn't go dead. And the battery did go dead, and it went dead completely. Tried, filling up the fluids in it, and tried jumping it a few times, and it was just gonna run dead again next time, and I was gonna have to jump start it next time I ran it again. So we did have to go get a new battery, and the replacing of the battery in these Buicks is a little more complicated than I typically run into whenever I'm replacing a battery in a vehicle. So I just kind of wanted to show you what I had to do to get this battery out, and maybe it'll help someone who's looking for this sort of information in the future. So this is where the battery is right now. I just dropped the new battery in there. There is a bolt on this back side right there that I'll have to tighten down. But to get it out, I had to pull this all off, which is this over here. And it'll just go back over and plug into there. Really, probably should have tried to get this all the way off, but I just could not find a tool that I could get to fit down in here to pull these off, to pull it loose. It would have been a lot easier if I could have gotten this off. But anyway, so I had to pull that loose just to get some of the wires out of the way. And then this bar actually goes under this box, and I'll show you what after I put it back, and then bolts into the frame of the vehicle there and up there. And I had to pull that out in order to get the battery out because the battery's under that bar. So definitely more time consuming and more involved than I'm typically used to when putting a battery in and out of a vehicle. Fun tip, make sure these are all up when you go to put the top fuse box back on. Otherwise they don't work too well. It doesn't go back on right. These little clip things on the side have something to do with that. So yeah, there you go. All right, and that is where that bar goes. And it hooks in there on this top side. Let's see if we can get the, there we go. So hooks in there, up there, runs under that, and hooks in down here. But as you can see, as far as I could tell, there is no way to get this battery out without having that bar in place. So putting that back, and then we'll fire it up. And now I'm sitting in a running van. So I'm gonna try to take care of this battery just a little bit better, and hopefully this takes care of the problem. And yeah, definitely more involved in taking that battery out and putting it back in than I expected. I did have a bit of an issue whenever I went to turn it back on, where I hadn't pushed that fuse box piece back down all the way. So make sure you push that down really nice and tight. Make sure everything's all connected in, and then it worked just fine. So yeah, if you got to mess with that, make sure you put that back the way it should be, and should be good to go. So hopefully this helps somebody out. Thanks for watching. Please be sure to hit that thumbs up if you liked our video, subscribe, and share to anyone else you think might enjoy it. Also, be sure to check out our Patreon page for other ways that you might be able to help support our family. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.